And joining us live from Washington, D.C. via Zoom is Lydia Samson to talk more on decisions at the spring meetings. Lydia, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. Now, we understand that heads of central banks, ministers of finance and development private sector executives are discussing the world economic outlook, and poverty eradication as well as economic development are the forefront. So what do they have for Africa, particularly at a time that the United States has suspended its package to the continent?
Well, I believe they have a lot for Africa, and if you listen to my report, so the word resilience keep coming up. And when you're asked to be resilient, it means there are challenges ahead that you need to be prepared for. And the IMF itself is more particular at this moment about curbing or being able to tackle the ongoing tariff war between America and China. And they believe that this is creating a lot of vulnerability and uncertainty in the financial system globally. And so I believe the G24's position that there must be more inclusion is one that resonates with the IMF. So I believe that the IMF, or the G24 met, they had a closed-door meeting, after which our minister, Wale Edu, and other key representatives from G24 briefed the media. That's the report you just dealt with. And so there are a lot of position papers and still ongoing collaboration behind closed doors. And at the end, they will come up with more results. But I believe nobody wants to see the economy go the way it is going, with so much vulnerability, prediction, and downgrading of positive projections by the IMF. Everybody here is on the same path that we need to end this and do whatever it can be done to make sure countries all over the world do not go into recession. And the good news is that so far now, IMF is not calling it recession, but they're talking about a slow growth. And when they talk about slow growth, definitely they know that emerging economies need special attention. Emerging countries and emerging economies like Nigeria. And luckily for us, our president, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edu, is here. In fact, we wanted to do an interview with him, but he hasn't played through. He was rushing out of one meeting into another that is closed door. So I believe we'll have, in spite of the gloom and all, optimism is still a bit high that something can be done.
Good to know, Lydia, but we also heard that the meeting is hosting conversations on how best to react to Trump tariffs. What are the suggestions as to how to prepare for trade shocks? This is very important for Africa.
It is important for Africa because we're at the receiving end more. But most countries around the world are also preparing, with some who are able to. They are also giving it back to Trump, if I may put it that way, with retaliating tariffs. But for Africa, the suggestion is that we must look inward. We must develop resilient domestic economy, and we must come with robust policies that will include, developing our natural resources and making sure we reduce over-dependence on export so that we can thrive on our own as a people, as a country, with more than enough to do that. But unfortunately, policy somersault and challenges remains an issue. And that is where ministers like ours are calling on the IMF and World Bank to help with programs and policy implementation and any other suggestion that they believe can make Africa and other emerging economies stand on their own and not feel too much of the shock of the tariff war ongoing between the advanced countries. But of course, the advanced countries too are not exempted. They are feeling it. So many things are happening all over the world as a result of this war, with shocks and vulnerability.
Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to adoptable recommendations from the meetings. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that too. Thank you, Lydia, for having me.
Thank you very much.